Hi everybody, Joe Burnich here with Big West Marketing, and I want to create this video to kind of explain how Google works, how SEO works, how ranking at the top of Google actually works, because there is so much frustration out there. Some people love Google, some people hate Google. There's this back and forth with Google. Should I use Google? Shouldn't I? There's just so many emotions involved, because Google really can make or break a lot of different businesses. Especially service-based businesses or contractors, which is basically the only type of people I work with. So what I want to do is I want to make a promise to you. By the end of this video, you are going to understand, and nobody else is talking about this, by the way, but you are going to understand as a business owner exactly what's going on with Google and kind of how Google works and how Google looks at things when it comes to your business specifically. So that's my promise to you. So let's get started. So before I jump in and just give you the lowdown on what the heck is going on here, let me tell you just a little bit of a little story on how this came about. Okay, so I'm at I get a notification that the Moz local people, I don't know if you've heard of Moz, moz.com. It's the big news site for SEO, everything SEO or anything that has to do with internet marketing. Moz.com is kind of like the authority in the world, okay? But they've got a little division called Moz Local, and it's set up for people that are just either own local businesses or people like me, agencies, SEO agencies that work with small local businesses. Okay, that's what this is for. And they were putting on a convention called MozCon Local, okay? I signed up for it. You know, I've been following these guys. I've actually met a few of the guys that run the program, Mike Blumenthal and Dave Ramsey and a couple other people. I'm sorry, Mike Ramsey, not Dave Ramsey. But anyway, so I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sign up for this. I'm going to buck up the couple $1,000s for the ticket and go to Seattle and check this out, because I've got a lot of questions that I feel like are unanswered for my clients and for myself. So I get to Seattle, and I'm sitting through and watching all these speakers, networking with some other SEO agencies and comparing notes and this and that. And there was actually a Google rep that was there and was answering questions for about 5 hours straight. He was just sitting there getting question after question from an audience of a couple hundred people, me included. We're going around the room, everybody's asking questions, and it's my turn to start asking questions, okay? And most of the people there were dealing with like doctors and hospitals and attorneys. They're doing SEO for these types of clients. But it comes to me, and I'm like, you know what? Most of these questions that everybody has doesn't really apply to me, because they're working with a different type of clientele. I work primarily with, actually completely, with service-based businesses, so cleaning companies. I started working with some roofers lately. I've got remodeling contractors. Those types of businesses, anybody that goes out and does a service for a home business, lawn care. I've got a couple clients that do lawn care. That type of business. I'm like, here are the issues that I'm running into. And I give them a laundry list of things that I have questions about. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And you know what the Google rep did? He kind of looked at me and rolled his eyes and said, why are you working with these types of businesses? And it was really kind of offensive, because he was basically implying that you could make a lot more money and have a lot less headaches if you go and work with doctors and lawyers and these other types of clients. And my response was, because I am one of these guys. I had a service-based business. I know what these guys are going through. These are good people that are just trying to make their phone ring, get businesses, and take care of their families. That's where I was. The service business is basically what kind of saved my ass when my back was up against the wall. I don't know if you've ever heard my story. It's in my book, my new book. I tell all about my story and what I had to go through, and how basically starting a service business from scratch kind of saved me, fed my 10-month-old baby, etc. So I've got kind of a soft spot when it comes to this niche, this type of client. I don't want to work with doctors. I don't want to work with lawyers. Yes, I know there's more money in it, but it's not me. Okay, and that's kind of what, and he kind of gave me this look like, well, you're crazy if you think that you're going to work with these people and have success. Well, I have success. I've got an agency with a team of 5 people, and we're growing every year. All I wanted him to do was give me some direct information and answer my questions so that I could service my clients better. All right, but so there was kind of this tension between us. And I kept pushing with some questions that, and finally he kind of just like gave up on telling me not to do it, and realized that this is me. This is who I'm gonna work with these people. So might as well just answer some questions. And basically, what he ended up telling me was that service-based businesses have kind of a black eye with Google. Google looks at service-based businesses different than a restaurant, different than a doctor's office. They're on a completely different list when it comes to how Google looks at them and how Google ranks them. And that's why it frustrates me when people, like other SEO companies, will just work with anybody, and they'll try to apply all the same techniques they do to a doctor that they do to a service-based business or a contractor business. They try to apply the same techniques, SEO techniques, as if that is going to work the exact same way, because they've had success in a certain niche, so they assume it works that way for every niche. It doesn't. And this Google rep basically explained to me why. So basically, over the years since Google started becoming like the big deal, replaced the phone book and all that stuff, this Google guy is saying, Google started categorizing certain types of businesses, certain industries, and basically cranking up the filters, the spam filters, and saying, you know what, if somebody in this industry does this, then they're going to get penalized. Whereas if they do it over here in the medical industry, then don't worry about it. If they do it in the restaurant industry, don't worry about it. But if they're a carpet cleaner and they do it, knock them down. Okay, that's basically what he told me. And he said the reason is because Google feels that the service industry has gone above and beyond anybody else as far as trying to trick the system, trying to game Google, trying to go against the guidelines and stuff like that. And I have to admit, I've played those games, because you know what? It worked, and it got my clients results. It got me results in the past. We don't do that anymore. This is everything we do now is above board, even if it doesn't work as quickly as other techniques. But those techniques will eventually get somebody put into the Google sandbox or penalized or whatever you want to call it. The stuff we do now is long-term. That's just the way we do it. If people don't want long-term, they want short-lived stuff, then they can go with somebody else. But we do long-term stuff that Google wants, and that's just the way I do it, okay? Because I want to be in business forever. I don't want it to be a fly-by-night company. All right, so what does that mean? And then to take it a step further, he even broke down specific industries that Google does not like in order of importance, okay? And so basically he said the top 3 are the number 1 industry that Google dislikes is locksmiths. Locksmiths have the worst reputation in Google's eyes as far as trying to do scammy, spammy, trick Google into ranking type stuff, okay? Locksmiths are number 1. We actually have a client that's a locksmith, and we've dealt with some pretty ridiculous issues when it comes to his ranking stuff that we've never seen with any other client. So I believe Google I believe this Google rep when he says locksmiths have, they're on Google's hit list more than anybody else. Okay. Next is plumbers. Okay. Next is any kind of like home remodeling service, contractors, basically construction contractors, and then he went down to say like attorneys are after that. Attorneys are like number 5 on the list. But the top 4 are basically service-based businesses. If you consider locksmith service, then that's it. But so and that's part of the reason why you'll see Google doing all these tests in like San Francisco and San Diego for plumbers right now. Is they're trying to figure out if they can make they're trying to figure out a way to, verify like business licensing and physical locations with signage and all this stuff. Some of you may have run into that kind of stuff as well. You basically have to get some kind of serious certification before Google will even let you rank in the 3-pack. And then on top of that, it's paid for. So Google's testing that with plumbers to begin with, but some people are suspicious that Google is going to roll that out to all service businesses in the future, depending on how those tests go. So that being said, my clients, you, the people I work with, or maybe I don't work with you right now, but maybe we will in the future, or you're thinking about working with us, whatever. We are behind the 8 ball before we even start. And so what I want to do is explain to you why this is such a battle when it comes to ranking a service-based business. I just thought about this. I was just mowing my lawn before I came in to make this video. I dropped everything because I was thinking in my head, I got to tell people about this. It just came to me. And so basically what we're looking at is we've got to build a solid foundation that Google trusts when it comes to service-based businesses. Restaurants don't have to do this. Doctor offices, dentists, they don't have to do this. Retail shops don't have to do this. Specifically, your business and businesses like yours have to do this. So let's talk about foundations. What do I mean by foundation? Okay, well, if you have a nice, new, shiny new house with great siding, new hardwood floors, new plumbing, new electric, new windows, paint job, roof, everything's just perfect. But you have a foundation issue, what's going to happen to all that other stuff? How important is that other stuff? How important are new windows and new hardwood floors if your foundation is buckling? This is an extreme example of this picture I found. Basically, this is a nice newer house that is just started to buckle because the foundation went out from under it. Okay, so that's kind of how you have to look at your SEO. That's how you need to look at your Google rankings. If you don't have a solid foundation and everything else looks pretty, your website looks pretty, you got all your keywords, you got lots of reviews, you got all this stuff that you keep reading about on articles or watching other people's videos or talking to other SEO people. They all talk about the same type of stuff. Links, citations, keywords, reviews, updated content, like all this stuff. I'm going to tell you right now, yes, that stuff is important, but it is completely worthless if you have a foundation that is crumbling. Okay? So you have a nice new shiny house that is crumbling from below because the foundation is cracked or just like sinking into the earth, whatever it is. So what does that mean? Like, what does that mean, Joe? Foundation. I don't know what you mean by foundation. If it's not links and reviews and all this stuff, what is a foundation? Okay. Now, it's not technical. It's actually very simple, and I've talked about this stuff before, but I'm afraid that people minimize it, and since it's not talked about by all these other SEO people, then most people like minimize it and think, Joe's just that's just something interesting, nice little fact that Joe's got an opinion on. But I'm telling you, the Google rep told me this, basically, not in these words, but this is basically what he told me. You got to have consistent business name, address, and phone number across the internet as a whole, not just on your website, not just on your Google page, not just on your Facebook page, but on all the internet, the entire internet, anywhere where your business is mentioned, and it's probably mentioned in a lot more places than you think it is. It needs to have the correct business name, address, phone number. It can't have extra pages with different phone numbers, variations of the address, variations of your business name, and I see this all the time. We take on a new client, they have a business name on their Google page, it's different on their website, it's different on their Facebook page, it's different everywhere. We see it all the time, okay? So, if you're just looking at the outside of the house, you're like, it's no big deal. Nah, Google doesn't care about that. I'm telling you guys, it's the number one thing. The number one thing with service-based businesses. Only with service-based businesses and contractors. Okay? That is how critical this is. It's the number one thing before you build links, before you have the perfect keywords, before you have all the unique content, ongoing content, and social media stuff going on, all this stuff that you keep hearing about. Before any of that is relevant, you have to have clean business name, address, phone number across the internet. That's why we start telling people about, we're doing citation cleanup or directory cleanup. And people are like, why? That's not something that I heard is important. Okay, I'm telling you it is. Okay, if you dig deep enough, you will find that this is true. If you get on like the Moz Local and hear, And if you read articles that are specifically about service-based business SEO and not just SEO in general, that's the problem. You're reading articles that don't pertain to service-based businesses. They don't come out and say that, but that's the truth. So I know I'm rambling on in here a little bit, but I just want to get this point across so that you guys look in the right place. So you're not working on the wrong stuff, spending money, spending time, spending energy on the wrong stuff. Okay? So what do we want? What does Google want then? What do we want this to look like? Well, here's an illustration. Here's another picture. We want our foundation for our house or our business. We want our foundation to be seamless. We want everything to be tight, no cracks, okay? No seepage, no sagging anywhere. We want our foundation to be stronger than our competition's, okay? So, what does that mean? That means we need to get everything cleaned up. Everything cleaned up before we start. Now, if you're a brand new business and you haven't started making any, and you have no information out on the internet, which is probably unlikely, but there are brand new businesses out there. If you're watching this and you're a brand new business, you are going to be way ahead of the game, because now you're not going to go out there and start hiring all these different people to do all this stuff, or trying to do a bunch of stuff on your own and do it the wrong way and set yourself back a year and a half because you didn't do it right the first time. Okay, that's how it happens. Is you go hire all these different people, or you try all these techniques that you read about on the internet, see on YouTube, whatever, and all this, and you start putting in tracking phone numbers that are just temporary. You start getting multiple websites and create different business names and try to do all these games. And I understand why, because you guys want to rank. I've been there. I've done that. I'm telling you guys, I understand. But I'm telling you, if you play that game these days in the modern era of SEO, you're going to get penalized. Even if you're not penalized yet, you will be penalized. The smarter Google gets, the bigger the hole you're going to dig for yourself if you're playing these games and not focusing on foundation. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. Okay? And so coming back around to where I started about how most SEO guys that you talk to, they don't talk about this. They don't put importance on this. You know why? Because they don't work specifically with service-based businesses. They work with all kinds of businesses. And for other types of businesses, this stuff is not that big a deal. But for service businesses, it's everything. It's everything. I've seen where you just get a cleanup done, wait 2 months, and don't do any link building or any social media or any of that stuff, and sites start popping up to the top of Google. Not every time. Sometimes it takes longer depending on how bad of a mess you actually have. How cracked your foundation is going to determine, number one, how much work we have to do, or another SEO company has to do, or how long it's going to take to get back in good standing with Google. Okay, so that should answer the question of how long it takes. It depends on how big of a mess you have. That determines how long it takes. If you have a brand new business and everything's clean and you've been doing things right, you're looking at like 3 months, 3-4 months. If not, you're looking at 6 to 8 months probably. So if you're going to play the SEO game, if you're going to use this as one of your marketing strategies, which is awesome, because once you get ranked, man, your phone will ring like crazy. So I hope I'm not just being completely negative here. I just want to make sure that I get the point across, and we don't have to keep re-explaining to our clients or potential clients what the heck is going on and what is important. Okay, I'm telling you, it came straight from the mouth of Google. He didn't want to tell me this stuff, but I kept pressuring him until he kind of broke down and was like, okay, listen, man, here's the deal. That's kind of how that conversation went. Now that I look back on it, it was kind of funny. At the time, I was really offended, especially when he said, why are you working with service businesses? Because I am one, man. I am a service business. These are my people. So anyway, I feel like I went to bat for our industry, man. That's really how I feel about it. So it was kind of an emotional thing. But I hope that makes sense. I'm going to stop rambling now. I don't know how long I've been going here, but this is going to be one of my longer videos. But I hope this all makes sense, man. We got to get that foundation down. Now, if you are working with an SEO company, you're not working with us, that's absolutely fine. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But please talk to your SEO person about building some citation cleanup program and then check on it. Don't just assume that they're doing it right. And and don't think that these programs like Yext.com and some of these other new ones out there are going to clean all that up. They'll clean maybe 10% of it up if you're lucky. There's so much out there that they don't have access to, that they can't touch. And they're not going to know your business specifically by running it through some automated scanner and coming back with some information, okay? So it needs to be done manually. Like when we do an audit to see what a foundation actually looks like, it takes a minimum of 2 weeks, okay? It's a long, painful, tedious process. We've got somebody special that just is dedicated to doing just that works for us, that we contract with, and actually 2 different people. But you need to get that done. You need to know where you stand. If your SEO person is not talking about this stuff and you're still not ranking, then you may want to try somebody new. Okay, I hate to say that. But because I know you spend a lot of money with people, and I know there's people that spend money with us and they get frustrated because other people are telling them what's important. We're saying something different. But that's just the nature of the game. That's the struggle of being an SEO agency. All right. So especially someone that wants to do it right. Somebody that's not just trying to like make a quick buck and get out. Which a lot of these guys are. I know a guy that's doing that right now. He takes clients on, strings them along for 6 months. Most of the time they don't rank, and he's got lots of excuses of why, and then he just moves on to the next one. Okay? I don't want to do that. I want long-term clients that last for years and years and years, and that trust me and like me and have good and want to have a partnership, not just pay Joe a bunch of money to do something for me. I want it to be more like a partnership type thing with my company. Okay? So that's me. That's my rant. I'm going to cut this off because I could go on forever about this stuff. But once again, my name is Joe Burnich. If you would like to get an audit on your website and see what the foundation looks like, give us a call. We have free consultations for 30 minutes, and we can look at your situation and see if we're a good fit. We don't work with everybody. We're kind of very selective about who we do work with for obvious reasons. But if you're interested in this and this stuff makes sense and you want to talk to us, please give us a call at 406-493-1881. If you want to learn more about this kind of stuff, I've got a 150-page book that I'm giving away for free right now. All you do is pay shipping and handling. If you want this book, just go to servicebusinessmoneymachine.com, or I'll put a link below the video in the description. I'll put a link at the end of this video that you can just click on and go and get your copy of the book. I'll drop this in an envelope and mail it out to you as soon as you order it. And then also, if you like what I'm saying right now, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're not already a subscriber, subscribe so you can get more content like this. Most of it's a lot shorter and a lot more just step-by-step how-to stuff. But this one is it just really hit me, and I wanted to just talk about it. So thank you for bearing with me. And once again, my name is Joe Burnich with Big West Marketing. We do web design and SEO for the service-based or contractor industry. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.